you.
Yes.
Eitan, good morning. We're going to miss the match Friday night.
Yes, we can miss.
So many sacrifices for the sake of Shabbat.
Yes.
What can we do? So it says in the Parsha that Yaakov prays. Yeah, it works? Okay, Yaakov prays to Hashem because he's about to confront Esau. Vayomer Elevai Avraham, the God of my father Abraham, God of my father Yitzchak. Why did he say, okay, Yaakov? Because he's Yaakov. So obviously he's praying to him. The Lord which has said to me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal with thee.
Is there a connection with Lech Lecha? Because Lech Lecha, when Hashem talked to Abraham, leave your country, your city, and your father's home.
I hear. Yeah, I hear. It sounds like it's a reference. I like that. Yeah. And I will do good with you. I will do well. I will do good if you go back. And now Yaakov says something very fascinating. Katonti mikol hachasadim umikol ha'emet. The Gaon Vilna, he's so insightful. He says, it says in the Talmud, you're not allowed to have any ga'ava, any haughtiness. You're supposed to be humble. But the Talmud says, if you're a Talmid Chacham, if you're a scholar, a very pious person, you're allowed to have an eighth of you must have an eighth of an eighth of boldness. Not necessarily arrogance, but you have to have...
in a good way.
In a good way. You have to have an eighth of an eighth. And he says, we learn this from, right here, this verse. This is the 8th Parsha. And this is the 8th Pasuk in the Parsha. You notice it starts at verse 4. So verse 11 is the 8th Parsha, 8th verse of the 8th Parsha. And what does Yaakov say? Katonti mikol hachasadim kol ha'emet. I am small. Katan. I'm small. The translation I have says, I am not worthy. Good morning. What translation do you have, Rafid, for verse 11?
I have been diminished by all the kindness.
I've been diminished. So what do you have, Binyamin? In verse 11, what does the translation say for you?
I don't have it.
Verse 11 might be the next page. You might have to turn the page other direction, I think. Too far?
62, 1, 2.
1, 1. Look for 11. Verse 11. It's got to be there somewhere. No. Don't turn more pages. Just look on that page. Look for the top of the page. The first words on that page. Turn the page. No. Back. Right there. Look at the top of the page. The inner column. Or the outer column. Look for verse 11.
I'm not good enough to see this. I'm sorry.
This is 32:1 here. This is 32:10. And one more page. It's going to be 32:11.
However,
Excuse me. It's funny. Yeah. He says, however, and now I'm in trouble. Delivery. Please, wait.
Ja.
ik heb een brief van meegenomen. Nederlandse.
Ja.
Die is
Verse
echt.
10, that's the issue.
10.
I'm unworthy. Verse 10, excuse me. It's my fault. It's verse 10. Verse 10.
Nog niet, maar
I'm unworthy. So the translation, katonti, I'm unworthy. So the word katan means Yaakov is saying, I'm small. Why is Yaakov so small? He's humbling himself. Let's see what if his explanation makes any sense here. He says, Katonti, I'm small, mikol hachasadim umikol haemet, from all of the mercies and the truth which thou hast shown unto thy servant. So, of course, in Hebrew, mi, katonti mi kol hachasadim, it could be because of, it could be from. Here, this translation says, "I'm not worthy of all the mercies and all the truth." Basically, I'm not worthy. I'm small in terms of my merit. I'm small. Your interpretation that Ravid has, the Art Scroll, they bring the Chazal's interpretation. It says, because of all the good things that I've done, maybe it's like I have a line of credit because of all my good deeds, so I get a certain amount of reward, which is promised to me. Now, and the more reward I get, the lower. There's less. It's like balls in a glass jar. Right? The more you take out, then it gets empty. So now I became small because of all the good things that happened to me. My merits are less. I have less left in the bank account. Wow. That's the way Chazal interpret it. But the simple understanding is, I am not worthy. I'm not worthy. You've given me so much. I'm not worthy. You've given me so much good things.
It's like a game when you play Mario or something. You can collect coins.
Yes, you can collect coins. You can collect lives.
Yes, and you can buy something.
That's right.
But then you have to start over.
That's right. You use up all your money, so that's all right. That's the way Chazal interpreted that. Yaakov was afraid maybe his merit is not enough to warrant success against Esav, because he has so much. He has a family, he has children, he has property, he has possessions. So he's thinking, maybe I used up all of my merit points. That's the Chazal. Rashi brings that on the Parsha. But the simple understanding is, I'm very small. Katonti. Katonti. Do you know the song?
Yes. Aaron.
Not Aaron, his brother.
No,
Moshe.
Yonatan. It's Yonatan's song. Aaron sings it with him, but it's Yonatan's song. Yeah. Katonti mikol hachasadim umikol haemet אשר עשית את עבדך. You know this? קטונתי מכל החסדים ומכל האמת אשר עשית את עבדך.
You do a lot of performance in Holland, Jonathan.
Really? I heard that.
Parents are from Holland.
Does he know Dutch?
A little bit, but I met him before, and he took me to his parents, and his parents speak Dutch.
In Jerusalem, you went to visit him and his parents? That's so nice.
Yes.
How did you meet him in Jerusalem?
I was walking to Nagalot with a friend, and he said, Jonathan Ashel is here. Okay, let's meet him.
Ah, nice. So he said hello, and he said, I saw you in Holland in a concert. That's lovely story. Wonderful. Yeah, Jerusalem is filled with celebrities, of course. I mean, Jewish music celebrities. Jewish music, actually, his brother Aaron studied in Machon Meir.
Really?
His brother studied in Machon Meir. Maybe Jonathan joined him for a few moments, I don't know. But the idea is, again, that he took this song, this pasuk, and turned it into a popular song. In Israel, yeah, just a few years ago, 10 years ago
Do
maybe.
you know Israel Nachman?
No.
He's a cantor,
Okay.
very famous
Okay.
around the world.
Okay.
From France, with the head. He was in Machon Netherlands.
Wow.
For a number of years, he's coming every year to Amsterdam for the concert for Hanukkah.
Beautiful.
And he's singing.
Uh-huh.
And the first time I saw him, it's a couple of years ago, I saw, wow, he has this opera voice.
Mm-hmm.
I love opera very much.
Ah, very nice.
And I thought by myself, this man, he need to come to my chuppah when I'm going to marry him.
Wow.
And he did.
Wow. Unbelievable. He lives in Israel?
Yes.
Oh, so you invited him, you called him up. Wow,
Yes.
that's so
He
beautiful.
was born in Sfat.
Really?
And he lives in Jerusalem.
Amazing. Israel Nachman. Never heard him. Very nice. Very nice. Amazing. Great. Good morning.
Exactly.
You give one of these to Pinchas so he can follow along. We're in chapter 32, verse 10. We're trying to understand why Yaakov says he's so small. We know Yaakov was a giant of Torah, of morality, also he pushed the stone by himself. Sure, he was a big man. He was a strong man. No, Yaakov was a pious man. Hashem spoke to him. He was a prophet. Why does he say I'm so small? And I'm not worthy of all of the mercies and the truth which you have given. And he explains even more what was given to him, such amazing grace. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I've become two bands. I came with nothing. I was in exile, running away. And now I come back to the land, and I have so much possessions, I have to divide them up into two groups. This is quite a rags to riches story. And who am I? I'm not worthy of such riches, he says. And then he says, please save me from my brother. Verse 12. In my book it's 12. In your book it's 10 for some reason. It's a strange thing. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. Aim al banim, the mother and the children. And then he says, Vata amarta, and you. Not only does he say, I'm not worthy of. For you it's verse 11. Yeah, Benjamin. For you it's verse 11. For me it's verse 12. I don't know.
Here we start the however.
Yeah, however, that's right. You said to me, I will surely do thee good. I will make thee seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude. If Esau comes and kills all the mother and the children, I'm not going to be any multitude. I'm not going to have that great nation which you promised me, right? So he says there's two parts to his argument. The first part is, I'm not worthy. Second part is, please save me. But the third part, it seems to be, his argument is the first and the third part. The second part is what he's asking for. He's asking to be saved because I'm about to be killed. But the last verse here is, and you promised me, you said, I'm going to be very good, do good things to you. I'm going to make you as numerous as the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. So he mentions two things. One is that he came from very rags to riches. He came without anything. And he had already tremendous success. He had tremendous success. And then he says, well, who cares about my success? Well, you said I'm going to succeed. That's the ending. He says, well, you promised me that I'm going to succeed and have a great nation. So it all fits in. It all works. I think I got the plan. The plan seems to be very clear. But I just have this problem now that Esau is going to kill me and kill all of my children. And this whole plan will be cut off totally in before it even gets started. So Yaakov's prayer is fascinating. He talks about what God should save him for the sake of fulfilling his promise. He said, you're going to do good things unto me. But at the same time, he adds in this element that I'm not worthy of anything. Really, it's not because I deserve any of this. It's because you promised it to me. You said, I just want to do your bidding. You said, you're going to be a great nation. And it seems to be working. I've left with nothing, and now I have so much. And so Yaakov says, I'm asking for help, but it's not for me. I'm not worthy of anything, but I see that I've been an agent in your plan. I've been succeeding in the promise that you gave me. I came with nothing, and now I have two camps, and that's what you wanted. That's what you promised me, to be a great nation. Only problem I have now is you have to save me from Esau. It's a very interesting stance in front of Hashem. He says, I'm not worthy for my own sake, but it's for your sake. Very interesting. Yeah, Aitan.
I have a question. Like, Hashem promised to Abraham, you have a great nation.
Yeah.
And he say he connected with the stars in the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
To Isaac he connected the same with the dust.
Dust of the earth.
And here with sand. Why three different?
Right, and here's the sand of the sea. Excellent. Good question. Good question. I don't know. We have to think about what the sand of the sea means versus dust of the earth versus stars of the sky. They all seem to be a metaphor for many, of course. Right? That's the common ground. But there are fine differences. It's a good point. Why Avraham used this metaphor, for Yitzchak used that metaphor, and for Yaakov, apparently he used the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. It's a good question. I'll leave it as a question. Sometimes questions are better left, open. I don't want to give it a silly answer, but I want to talk about something else. Yeah.
It's a beautiful question. When I think about the sand of the sea, I connect this with to be great in the nation, and the people, they need to live on the earth, not up in the sky.
Nice. Yafa. There are many depths to uncover there, hidden in the sand and the earth. But I want to talk more about his approach to God. He says, "Katonti, I am small." He says, "I'm not a factor," and I connect that a little bit to being a fan. How do you say a fan in Chinese? When you are rooting for your team in sports, you're cheering on. It's called a fan, huh? Funzi? What's that in Mandarin? Yeah. A fan of a team, a sports team, right? You.
Word is very easy.
What's the Dutch word? Fan.
Fan.
Fan. Is it simple? Okay, right. That's right. Yeah, hooray for the team. Now in the Mondial, you see there are millions of people around the world watching these games, right? And the people who go there and they dress up and they cheer and they get excited. And this year it's even without alcohol because they don't allow them any alcohol. So it's a strange thing. Yes, Pinchas.
Today, where are the lost 10 tribals?
Good question. I don't know. I looked everywhere. Do you find any? I don't know. Maybe it's you. It could be. There is a thesis that 10 tribes were exiled to the east, maybe all the way to Beijing. I don't know. All the way east. You keep going, keep walking. Nobody told them to stop till they hit the sea. Anyways, I don't know. But so I think that when you're a fan, what happens? You're not playing soccer. You're not playing football. But you identify with your team. You want your side to win, right? There's an expression that how many players are there on the pitch? 11. So who's the 12th player?
No one. The coach.
No. The crowd.
Oh,
The home team crowd. They give strength to all the players on the field. It's like the 12th player. So the fan feels like he's part. He's part. He wants that side. Many times, what did we have with a strange? There's also a strange phenomenon of. It's sort of like being a fan. Fansu? Fansu. And that was when we had a few months ago, the Queen of England died. Right? And everybody in England was upset. Millions of people came to the funeral. Long live the King, King Charles now. Soon it's going to be in May. I think they're going to have a coronation. Again, millions of people coming. Why do they care? Well, if you're British, you identify with your king. You feel connected. All the English people, they feel somehow, even though the Queen, she's a nice woman, she was polite, and she's fancy and very rich, but you know, for everybody to identify with her, it's like they're fans. They connected to the king. And I think on Rosh Hashanah, we speak a lot about the king. And we sing and we cry out, Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, every day. We call it as Hashem is the king. It's almost like we have a relationship of like we're trying to be the fans. We're on his team. We're on Hashem's team. And so you can connect to something in many different ways. You can have many different relationships. The relationship of Yaakov to Hashem is not exactly like he's part of Hashem's team. It's even more than that. He's not just rooting for Hashem to succeed. He says, you said your promise, your plan is that I'm going to be a great nation. It's not about me, but about you. I want our team to succeed. Yaakov says he's like on the team. He's wearing the colors of the team, right? You dress up. What's the colors of the Dutch team? Orange, of course, right.
It depends. 4 years ago was blue.
Really? They changed?
But that's the outfield.
The out. There's always two. There's out and a home and away. Yeah.
But for the fans, it's always orange.
Fans is always orange. Yeah, interesting. Right. So you want to. So Yaakov says, "I'm on your team. I want the team to win. I don't know. It's not for me." So there is this week coming up is a new holiday. I know we're not supposed to add holidays to the Jewish calendar, but there's a group of Hasidim that created a holiday. You know what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what to do with it.
What's the date?
19th Kislev.
Exactly. You know what it's called? It's called Yat Kislev. That's Yud Tet. Yat Kislev. It's the 19th of Kislev. Today is the 15th of Kislev, right? Or the 14th. 14th.
Your full moon was yesterday.
I saw it last night. It was beautiful. Looked full. Today's 14th. Yeah, 14th. Yeah. I know because that means Friday is the 15th, and Shabbat is the 16th. 16th of Kislev is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, Mazal Tov.
Yeah, Mazal Tov. So Baruch Hashem. So on Yat Kislev, the Hasidim celebrate, the Chabad Hasidim celebrate Chag HaGeula, the Day of Redemption. What's the Day of Redemption? It's the day the first Rebbe of Chabad, the first of this group, Lubavitch, at the time, Rabbi Menachem, what was his name? The Alter Rebbe?
Salman.
Right. Shner Zalman from Liadi. He was from Liadi, he wasn't from Lubavitch. But anyways, he founded the movement of this group that follow a specific style of Chassidut. And he was put in jail by the Russian Tsarist forces because they thought this group is rebellion, rebels. They thought they were going to be politically against the government. So they threw him in jail. And he had to convince them and pray. He prayed very hard that he would get out of jail because being in jail was stopping all of his work. His work was trying to spread his brand of Judaism, teach his Torah to his followers. And he got out on this day. He was released, and they call it redemption. Redemption, that's why they call it the holiday of redemption. It happened 100 years ago or something, or 200 years ago maybe. I don't know exactly when, how many years it's been. But it was happened on the 19th of Kislev. And every year they make a celebration, and it's becoming more and more popular. More and more popular. It's actually a fellow who lives in this neighborhood, grew up in this neighborhood. His name is Moshe Shilat. His father is a big Rosh Yeshiva, a religious Zionist form. His son got involved with Chabad, and he became a Chabad Chassid. And he founded this major conference, a convention, to celebrate this holiday, the holiday of redemption. And so now every day, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, up until the 19th, right? If Shabbat is the 16th, so the 17th is Sunday, 18th is Monday, and Tuesday is the 19th. And so they have every day in Binyanei Umah, the big convention center here in Jerusalem, a massive book sale and concerts and children's shows and every group imaginable. Very cheap books if you're interested. There's a very cheap books in the convention center. You have to pay 10 shekels to get in, but then it's a world it's a wonder world of Hasidut, of teaching. And the Chabad are well known. This group is very well known for becoming shluchim or shlichim. What's a shaliach?
Messenger.
A messenger. Everybody feels that they were sent. Whoever is a member of this group of Chabad Hasidim, they feel they were sent by who?
By the Alter Rebbe, Reb Schneerson.
Really, that more by the last Rebbe, the seventh Rebbe.
Yeah, the man from America.
Yeah, from America. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. They could, some people call him that, but that's problem. That's
a small amount.
I hope. I hope it's a small amount. Anyways, he was a great rabbi. The last seventh Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem. He had a good name. Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. He decided to send agents all around the world. It's actually his father-in-law started it, but he continued and it grew to no end. Now, the joke is, there's no place on the globe that doesn't have Coca-Cola and Chabad. The difference is, they say that Coca-Cola has a secret that they don't want to, the secret ingredients. So they don't want anybody to know how to make it. And Chabad wants everybody to know all the secrets. In any case, so the Chabad have this idea that they are all sent, they're agents, they're messengers of Hashem.
Messengers.
Not just of the Rebbe. The Rebbe is teaching them how to live the life of Hashem, the Torah, mitzvot, to teach everybody, do wonderful work. This idea of being a messenger, me, it's not important. I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to you know what it is? I heard this mashal once. Most people that go around life, they're like customers in a restaurant. You come to the restaurant, you pay a few dollars, you want to get a bowl of soup, right? You want to get a hamburger. And then you figure you pay enough money, you should get good service, good food, good quality. So people think that way, they think that, okay, I come to my Judaism also. I pray 3 times a day, I pay my dues, and I should have a good life. But the whole concept should be changed. We're not just customers in the restaurant. We should maybe think that what's the other option? Down the street here, there's near the central bus station, there's a soup kitchen where you can go and volunteer. It's amazing. People come and they get meals for free. People don't have, right near the central bus station. And some people go and they volunteer to serve, to be the waiters, to give out the food. It's very beautiful. It's respectful. People feel they're coming not, like beggars. They have a beautiful meal. It's very respectable and free of charge. So that if you go to become in the restaurant, you don't come to receive. You come to, maybe you want to be a waiter to help serve the food. Hashem doesn't want us to come and just say, oh, you have to be teaching the Judaism, giving it to others. That's a level of becoming a shaliach. But there's an even higher level. And that is, you don't go and volunteer and act as a waiter. Maybe you should be an owner of the restaurant. Maybe you should be a part owner of the restaurant. You should consider yourself, if you are the son of the owner, okay, you're not the owner, you're the son of the owner, and you come to the place and you see that there's some paper towels are missing, or there's not enough forks or knives, or the food here is no good. So you're going to do something about it, right? You care even more than just being a waiter. It's not just about giving it out and being a little piece of the puzzle. You're a manager. You have more responsibility. Wow, this is already a higher level. And I think this is the level of Yaakov. Yaakov, in our tradition, when he says, katonti, I'm so small, I'm not worthy. But then he says, I'm supposed to be a great nation. How does that work together? Is he expecting to be a great nation? I thought he says, I'm not worthy. Yes, but it's not about me. I'm acting out for you, Hashem. Your plan is to have a great nation for the world. So this is a big lesson for us to learn how to approach life. Are you just a customer at the restaurant? How to approach God? How to approach Judaism? Are you just, we talked about it a number of times. People think they pray. It's like going to the kaspomat. What's kaspomat? The ATM machine. You put in your card, you get out money. That's what they think. I pray, I want to get something, so I put in my card. We have to turn the perspective around. It's not just being a customer at the restaurant. You have to be serving the food. You have to be spreading Judaism. And even more than that, you have to feel responsible for this great mission and me, I'm part of it. I'm maybe like an ambassador of the king. The king, Hashem is our king. We're fans, we're part of that team, but we're not just spectators in the stands, cheering. Hashem wants us to be on the field, on the pitch, playing for our team to win. And even more than that, maybe we should be like a manager, right? Who tells everybody, you go here, you go there, to make it work. We want the mission to succeed. We want we are part of Hashem's team, not just spectators, but helps us understand how to approach Judaism. Our Judaism, we should feel it's not about us, but we have a very important role to play. That's what Yaakov is teaching us in this tiny little word. Katonti, in his prayer, he says, I am not worthy, but you said you're going to make me a great nation, so you have to save me from Esav here. This is a beautiful idea to think about on this week's Parsha.
So yes, what's the best translation for the word katonti? It's humble, or?
I'm not worthy. Yeah, I'm not worthy. I'm not, and it's true, I am not worthy. I'm small. I'm small. Katon, I'm small. I'm small. But he goes on to say that I'm small, but when you are small, you become the largest ever. Because you are a channel, an agent for the nuclear power. If you're by yourself, if you're just yourself, your own power, you can be the strong man of the universe. You can be Iron Man. You're nothing. You're nothing compared to Hashem.
When we talk about katonti, is there a connection to the marriage? How we need to behave against our wife?
Maybe. I think that it can be connected. Any relationship, if it's all about you, then the relationship is really just something added on. It's something secondary. If you realize in a relationship you're supposed to be a unit together, you're both parts of the unit, so then you have to make space for the other. You have to be a little smaller than, it's all about me and I have 10 wives.
But the woman, she runs the household, right? So I want to support her, even when I'm.
That's right.
When I don't agree.
Sometimes she's the supporting role for you, and sometimes you're the supporting role for her. It's of course different than the relationship between us and God, but it's a relationship, and it's true that in every relationship you need to make yourself smaller, but you get larger because you're part of this larger whole, this relationship. Yes, Pinchas. Okay, we'll put this away.
There are many parts of Judaism. The Haredi, Hasidim,
There are.
The Ashkenazi, Sephardi,
We're all on the same team.
Can you tell me what is their relation?
I'll tell you again, quoting my rabbi who just died, and it's now his shiva, Rabbi Pinchas Brumer. May his soul rest in peace and go higher and higher. He explained to me, he says that all those groups are all equal. They're all good. They're all equal. In every group, it's like you have a cup of wine. You have the delicious wine at the top, and at the bottom, sometimes you get the dregs, at the little pieces of not good stuff. Every group is the same. There's good and there's bad. But they're all good. They're all trying to worship Hashem. And all together, we're all on the same team. That's what I was trying to teach you just now. We're all on Hashem's team. Okay, so there's different styles.
Just take your responsibility.
The Zionist and the Chabad belong
They're all, in my eyes, I give you what I think. They're all equal approaches to Hashem.
separate.
They're separate. They should come together, but sometimes you need different teams, you know. Sorry?
The Chabad and Chabad Zionist, don't belong.
We're all Jews. We're all Jews.
Huh?
We're all Jews. We're all on the same team.
Independent. Independent.
I think they're dependent on each other. You know, we know all too much. We make a lot of these differences, distinctions. This kind of kippah, that kind of kippah, this hat, that kind of kippah. Hitler came. It's all the same to him. We're all Jews.
I think we are Jewish, just Jewish.
That's it.
But why different? I think like the body. Some people at the hand, some people at the
That's right.
different function.
That's right. There's different functions. Yeah, good, right?
Some like the family, like the different kids. Yeah, maybe some special.
It's true. Of course, every group thinks that they are the heart. That's the problem.
But you're talking about the outside, it's about the soul.
Yeah, the soul very important. But the soul, we know just, even we don't know our soul how to say, just Hashem know, you know. But the important, what we choose the way is very important.
That's right. Sure. Yeah, we're all trying to do Hashem's will. We're all trying to push ahead the mission. That Hashem said, you're going to be a great nation and teach the world about God and His Torah. We all want the same. Different approaches. But I agree, we should focus on the unity. And maybe we're stronger because we have these different groups. I don't know.
In the Ashkenazi, they are Haredi, they are Dati Leumi. With Sephardi, they are Dati Leumi,
There's all kinds, many different groups. Many different groups and subgroups and subgroups. There's no end.
Question very important. For example, sometimes I experience we see some the non-Jews, maybe Arab are fighting with the Jews.
Okay.
In the Jewish
we are. That's right.
But how I don't know how. We should this every Jews should we do this?
Yeah, I think so. We all have to. They want to kill us all. The Arabs. They don't have to go to Hitler 50, 100 years ago. This is now. It's now. They want to push you, if you're Jewish, push you into the sea. Whether or not all of the Arabs, but those who are our enemies, They don't care whether you're Haredi or Dati Leumi. They don't care if you're Ashkenazi or Sephardi. They don't care.
Look at your Satmar.
Exactly. They don't care. They don't care. So.
But I think the lesson we can learn about what we just read is don't put you on the first place.
Right. Put yourself, or yourself can only get in the way sometimes.
Like you said, you can be bigger when you are small.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Tov, let's go back to the laws of Hanukkah. I promised you that we're going to start chapter 13.
It's the last chapter.
It is. It is. It's details. It's the details of Hanukkah. There's so many details. From 265 to 292, that's almost 30 pages. I don't think we'll finish it today, but we have another week.
Enough time.
We have all another week, B'ezrat Hashem. Right? The details are important. But the most important things, what did we learn so far? Hanukkah is a festival to commemorate the oral Torah, the victory of the Hasmoneans, the mitzvah de Rabbanan, the rabbis instituted a mitzvah to make a holiday, Hallel, reading from the Torah, Al Anisim. What happens if you forget? Nothing. Al Anisim. You don't have to go back and repeat the Shemona Esrei or the Birkat HaMazon. We said that we light candles. We say that we light 8 candles on the 8th day.
9.
And 1 extra for the Shamash, it's called. What else? Are women obligated in the mitzvah of Hanukkah? Yes, they are obligated, even though it's a time-dependent mitzvah. Maybe you were not here that day. The women were under threat, just like the men were under threat. And even the women were the heroines of the story, according to one midrash, that Yehudit played a central role in cutting off the head of the general. So the women are obligated in the Hanukkah candles as well, just like the men. What else?
Why do we have 8 candles?
The Talmud says that the miracle lasted for 8 days until they were able to get new oil. It takes a time to process the oil in purity, and they had no oil which was pure except for one tiny little little jug of oil. And that oil miraculously lasted for 8 days. And then that's why we have the holiday for 8 days.
I learned the miracle has been for 7 days. Because the first day, the oil for the first day, it's not a miracle.
Ah, what a good question.
So why we have 8? Because we found this vessel.
Yeah, vessel, yeah.
This is a miracle.
That itself is a miracle.
But the first day, it's not a miracle.
Yafeh Ma'od. This is famously known as the question of the Beit Yosef. The Beit Yosef is the author of the Shulchan Aruch. His name was Rabbi Yosef Karo. He wrote a lot of very important Torah books. One is a commentary on the Rambam. The most famous, of course, is the Shulchan Aruch. But his major work was called the Bet Yosef, the House of Yosef, which is a commentary on the Torah, the Halacha book. And there he asked this question. So it's known, since then, it's been 500 years, it's known as the question of the Bet Yosef. His question is, why is the holiday for 8 days? The miracle only lasted for 7, because the jug had enough oil for 1 day. And there's a book written, I can't remember now the number, but I think it has over 200 answers to this question.
Wow.
Yeah, the question of the Bet Yosef has so many answers. Why is the holiday 8 days when the miracle only lasted for 7? It's a lovely method to think. You know what the Maharal says? Maharal from Prague. Where's Amos when you need him? Right? Maharal lived 400 years ago. He answers, we have 2 major parts of Hanukkah. 2 miracles. If you look at the Al Hanisim, we read it quickly, it doesn't really talk about the candles. It talks about that the few vanquished the many. That the righteous fought against the evil guys. It's all about the war. We know that there was battles, 8 battles. There's another reason for 8 days. But the Al HaNisim speaks primarily about how Hashem helped the Hashmonaim, the sons of Matityahu, to fight against the Greeks. And they won the war. They won the battle. What a great miracle. If you look in the Talmud asks, what is Hanukkah? And you know what it says? It says, because the candles lasted for 8 days. Nothing about the war. Nothing about the victory of the Hasmoneans. The candles, there was enough candle for 1 day, it lasted for 8 days. It's totally ahistorical. And so, the reason we celebrate for 8 days, the Maharal says, is the 7 days we actually celebrate the miracle with the oil. And it's true. The miracle only happened from day 2, day 3, day 4 through 8. The first day of Hanukkah, we celebrate the war, the miracle of the victories of the armies of the rebels, Yehuda HaMaccabi and his brothers against the... that too was a miracle. It wasn't only about supernatural stuff, magical oil. It's also about the war that they fought. They fought hard. People died. All the famously, the brother Elazar died. Where did he die?
The battlefield.
And where in the battlefield? Today there's a yeshuv, a settlement called Elazar. Right where he was, they say he was trampled. He killed an elephant. Of the Greek armies had elephants in those days, and he killed it, but he fell on him, and he died, gave his life in the battle. So there's so much to recognize that too, the fact that we won the battle, a small, tiny band of rebels against this great Alexander the Great. He conquered the entire Middle East, but not this small band of Jews. And so that's a miracle. The first day, we celebrate the natural, it's in the natural world, the victory. And the 7 days we celebrate. Many answers though, that's such a good question. Hundreds of answers, yes.
I think it is a miracle that they found the oil, because if they didn't find the
Beautiful.
oil, you can't...
Amazing. I think I heard that somewhere 5 minutes ago. That's what Ravid said. He suggested an answer too. It's fine. It's fine. He says maybe that you heard it in the back of your head. It went in your ears, but they didn't process it until now. He said that too. The very fact that they found the jug. It's a beautiful, beautiful answer. Yeah.
Question: what's the connection between Yehuda and a hammer? Because
I don't know. Yehuda the hammer. I don't know.
I heard that there's this nickname. How do you say hammer in Hebrew?
Patish. I don't know.
There is a picture with a big sledgehammer. But what
Big sledgehammer. I don't know. Never heard of that. No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe for a children's book, they wanted to have a. Don't know. Yehuda, a Maccabi.
Because only one was called the Maccabi, Ken?
No, all the 5 brothers. They're all called the Maccabim. And all the team, the whole group. Maccabi is now the name of sports teams. Yeah. They use the term. Maccabi Haifa, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Maccabi Ashkelon, so many.
And also in Netherlands, you have a sport, the evenement. It's called Maccabi. They fix all the sports.
Jewish.
Yeah, Jewish.
Jewish, of course, yeah. It was a group of early Zionists. Got together a group to support the Maccabi. Same organization, yeah. Sports in particular. Right. It's a little bit ironic, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Why?
Because sports is a Greek.
Exactly. Sport is the Greeks developed it, and they worship it, and they put it on a pedestal, right? Human power and athleticism. And the Maccabim were fighting against the Greeks. So now what do we have? Jewish sports teams called Maccabi. I prefer to think of it as maybe a tikkun, a rectification. We want to do it. What is Maccabi? We said it's the acronym of Mi, Kamocha, Ba'elim Hashem. Where does our strength come? Comes from the power, comes from Hashem. Who is like you? It's from the Song of the Sea. Mem, Kaf, Bet, Yud. Maccabi spells out, Mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Who is like you? Strong. No, nobody is strong like Hashem. So we're channeling the power of Hashem, like Yaakov is saying, I'm representing you, Hashem, in this world. All my power, I myself personally am very small. But I have to be big because you are big. So Maccabi has to be successful. Because of Hashem! The Maccabim were fighting the wars of Hashem. And that's what gave them the strength to succeed. So Maccabi, it is ironic that it's a sports organization. But it's a fixing, the idea. 1 second. Pinchas, yeah? 1 second.
is a king. The
Hasmonean kings. They made kings, yeah, after they succeed.
Not the people of David.
Nachon, not tribe of Yehuda. That's right. There's a criticism of them. That they should not have become kings. They should have gotten some Judeans, so for the tribes of Judah to be king. They were Kohanim. They were the priests. It was not perfect. It was not perfect. Some people say it teaches us about today. Today, many people, Eitan, you have a friend, keeps telling you stories. Many people are so upset at the Zionists, the state of Israel. They're not religious. They do so many things wrong. But I think we have to look at it the opposite. We have where to learn from. Do we have a holiday called Hanukkah to celebrate the victories of the Hashmonaim? They were not perfect. They were not so holy. They were themselves were connected to the culture of the Hellenists. But they represented the rebellion and the Jewish identity. We're not going to bow down to the idols. We are going to we have to purify the temple. They were fighting for the Jews. And we have to celebrate that. We know the victory is a miracle, just like the supernatural miracles of the oil is a miracle. It's all miracles. So, does that mean it's perfect? We celebrate Medinat Yisrael. I could go on for days saying all the things they do wrong. We. I'm part of Medinat Yisrael. But we still celebrate it because it's a Jewish country and we're trying to be a great nation once again. Like Yaakov says, this is the plan. Be a great nation. So, is it perfect? No. Hashmonaim and the Maccabim were not perfect either, but we celebrate. We celebrate 8 days, Hallel for 8 days. No question about it. Yeah.
I think when I put it together, we have a mission. Also, Yaakov had a mission. And everything what happens, and I'm looking now to the bad, it's not another mission, it's a part of the mission.
Exactly, sure.
We want to reach our goal,
That's
we
right.
need to accept all these things.
Exactly.
We need them to come there.
Of course, we need everybody to come to Jerusalem and learn Torah, and to be moral, and to have prophecy. But you have to have roads to get to Jerusalem. You have to have an army that will protect the airport, so that everybody can come. So we have to have people. We have to have a Jewish nation for there to be prophets. You have to have so the Medinat Yisrael. We have to celebrate Medinat Yisrael just like we celebrate Hanukkah. That's my opinion.
This is why our army is a defense army.
That's right, Israel Defense Forces. That's right. The modern day Maccabees is the IDF. No question about it. It's true. It is. They're modern day Maccabees.
Very strong.
Yes. It's one of the strongest armies in the world. Not the strongest. We're still a very small country. But Baruch Hashem, really, of course, we can never forget. Where does the strength come from? Katonti. We ourselves are very small. But it's all the strength of Hashem. Yes, Eitan and then Pinchas, yeah.
Can you write on the board what's Maccabee with Micha Mocha?
Sure. I'll do it again. I did it once, but I'll do it again. No problem. This time maybe you'll write it down and I won't have to do it again. Here, I'll use red. It comes from, but I don't have to write it down. You have it. You have it. Even better. Open up the Siddur. Open up the Siddur. Everybody, what page? Page 100. And 33. Who is like you, Lord, among the mighty? That's the translation. Page 133. 133. It's 4 lines before the end of the page.
Oh, the song of Moshe.
Son.
Song?
Son. 133. 4 lines from the end of the page. 4 lines for the end of the page. 133. Binyamin. 133. 4 lines for the bottom of the page. You see it in the middle of the line. In the Hebrew. Mi chamocha ba'ilim Hashem. The translation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines before the end of the page. Who is like you, Lord, among the mighty? It's many more than just 4 words. But in Hebrew, it's only 4 words. And in English, it's 8 words. But it means the same. And the letters, the first word of each letter is Mem, and then Chaf, and then Bet, and then Yud, which spells out Maccabi. You found it, Eitan?
Yes.
You got it? Israel, Pinchas, you got it? You found it? Mi chamocha ba'ilim Hashem, Maccabi. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me. Hello, I'm in the middle of class. Right now? Okay, sure. Okay, no problem. Bye-bye. Okay. All right, I just have to send the message, but it's okay.
But it means who is like you?
Among the mighty, yeah. Who is like you, Lord, among the mighty? That's what it means. Nadav Kodesh. You know it off by heart. It's amazing. Good for you. Okay, good. Let us.
It's a beautiful song. I love it.
Is there a list about David's descendant?
Yes.
Yes.
You want it? I have it here. I can show you, but it only goes so far. We have till the end of the biblical period, maybe a little more in Divrei Yamim, till the beginning of the Second Temple period. But then it's been 2,000 years, so we don't have. So we don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe Ravid, descendants of King David. Who knows? Maybe you. Somehow. Okay, so let's. We should learn a song, though.
Yeah.
We should learn a song. So keep your Siddur open. We'll learn from the Siddur. We'll learn a song. For yesterday, we did the songs of Hanukkah, right?
Yes.
Today, it's right. Ma'oz Tzur Yeshuati. Remember that we did yesterday. Chana el Shabeach Tikun Be'tefilati Sham Toda Nezabeach Yedarim Adbeach Mitzaram Nabeach Azegvo Veshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach Azegvo Veshir Mizmor Chanukat HaMizbeach. Yes, you go on, that's right. I want you to turn, please, to page 600 and 615. 615 in your Koren Siddur, Rav Kook Siddur. It's from the Musaf prayer.
Do you know this word? Makebet? Makebet?
Makevet, yes.
Makevet.
It's like a sledgehammer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this says some what is this a connection?
Maccabi, if you
Makevet.
spell it with a kuf instead of a kaf, maybe that's why. Interesting. Never heard that.
But I have to still find it because I see many titles. Judah the Hammerer, Judah the Hammerer.
Maybe because they understood that Maccabi was spelled with a kuf, and a makevet is a sledgehammer. Yes. Maybe that's why, but I don't know that that's the original spelling, kuf or kaf. They have a similar sound. Okay, the top of the page, 615. Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your kingship. The people who sanctify the seventh day shall all be satisfied and take delight in your goodness. And you favored the seventh day and declared it holy. You called it most desirable of days in remembrance of creation. It's a beautiful poem. The Sephard and Sfaradi Nusachim have it in all three prayers on Shabbat. Ashkenazi, as you can see here in front of you, this is Nusach Ashkenaz, has it only in the full version, only in the Musaf prayer. That's why I sent you to this page, page 614. But it appears many times in your Siddur, and each one of the Amidah, we have this beautiful poem, Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. I'll teach you a tune. There's a few tunes. This one is Shlomo Karbach's tune. It goes like this. Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Again. Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Now, okay, got that? Got that? That's the first part of the tune. Yisrael, you have found the page 615. 615. You have it on top of the page. First words. Yeah. Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Again. Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Now there's a few versions. I can sing it. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. But the way Shlomo Karbach taught it, he said words in Yiddish. Maybe you know maybe you'll understand it better than I do. And he said, Yida lach shrai. All the Jews should call out, Shabbos. Yida lech shrai, Shabbos, Yida lech shrai, Shabbos, Yida lech shrai, Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos. What's shrai? German.
To scream.
To scream, to call out. That's right. Yidalach, Ayid is a Jew, right? A Jew. Ayid. Yidalach is all the precious Jews, right? Yidalach is a term of endearment. So we'll sing it. What do you want to sing it in the Yiddish or just the la la la? Yeah, excited. No, we'll do both. Okay, we'll do both. So we'll start from the top, and then you'll see how it fits in. It's really just the first 6 words on page 615. Okay? Yismechu b'malchutcha, Yismechu b'malchutcha, Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg. Yidalach shrai, Shabbos, Yidalach shrai, Shabbos Yidalech Shrai. Shabbos Yidalech Shrai. Shabbos Lai 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 La 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 What is simcha mean? Joy. Rejoice b'malchutcha, in your kingship. Rejoice in your kingship. That's the translation of the first two words. It here appears in the translation on the second line. Rejoice in your kingship. Yismechu. Who will rejoice in your kingship? Those who keep Shomrei Shabbat. What is Shomer Shabbat? To keep Shabbat. To keep the Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat. It's the plural of Shomer Shabbat. Shomrei Shabbat. V'korei oneg. Oneg is delight. So those who make an oneg Shabbat. So those who keep the Shabbat and call it a delight, they rejoice in your kingship. There's joy associated with Shabbat. Shabbat is a time of joy, right? What are we rejoicing in? Am I rejoicing that I win? I'm rejoicing that I'm successful?
No.
Your kingship. I rejoice in your kingship. Katonti, like we started with, right? Okay? So we say, the first few times we say, Yismechu b'malchutcha, over and over, and then we complete the line, and then we sing Lai Lai Lai, okay? Yismechu b'malchutcha, Yismechu b'malchutcha, Yismechu b'malchutcha, Shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg, la 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 la. Very good, very good. Hi la 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 la. Ay 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 la 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 ay 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 ay. What did you think it was?
A record.
No. This is my clock.
I think you like it so much, you got a record.
You can find the tune online. It's a very popular tune.
But is this based on the verse from Yeshayahu?
Why? Which pasuk in Yeshayahu are you referring to?
From 60,
You
who delights in the Shabbat? It's my Shabbat.
Show me. Give me a Tanakh. I don't recall Yeshayahu as well as you. I assume it is. Of course, there are many references in the prayers to psukim, but it speaks about those who rejoice in your kingship on Shabbat in Isaiah.
No, not the kingship, but it says we keep the Shabbat. And we shall will delight in it. So it teaches.
Right. It goes as follows. Yeah, it's 59, I think, not 66. Is it 66?
59 in the Latin letters?
I don't know. You have to figure it out. We say it's in here. It's in here. Turn the page. What you're referring to is in the Kiddush. Many people in the Kiddush, they recite these verses from Yeshayahu. Take a look, please, on page, it's 58, it's chapter 58, it's not 66. Page 648. If you keep your feet from breaking the Shabbat and pursuing your affairs on my holy day, page 648 at the bottom. If you call the Sabbath a delight, right, that's where the idea of Oneg Shabbat comes from. Correct. Liktos Hashem mechubad, and you make the Lord's holy day honorable. So we have oneg is the connection that you're making here. The word oneg, the oneg. Az titan lag Hashem, then you will find joy in the Lord. And a beautiful verse, some people say at the Kiddush of Shabbat morning. Yafé mod. Oneg Shabbat comes from there, that's right. So we have to call it a delight. This is our mitzvah, to keep Shabbat and call it a delight. Usually keeping Shabbat refers to the biblical commandments. This is a verse from Isaiah. Isaiah is not from the Bible, from the Chumash. So it's a rabbinic commandment to delight in the Shabbat. So when you have your delicious rogalach, what do you have on Shabbat? Your delicious kugel, what do you have on Shabbat? Salmon, what do you have? Chulent, your delicious chulent on Shabbat. If you have the delicious whiskey, whatever you have to delight on the Shabbat. What's that? What?
The olives.
Olives, zaitim, zait. You love zaitim for Shabbat. Beautiful. Whatever you do to delight, to enjoy on Shabbat, it's this mitzvah. Rabbinic mitzvah that you should enjoy the Shabbat, not just sit in the dark and fast. You're supposed to delight. Oneg Shabbat, so all the things that we take pleasure in. Traditionally, married men and women have relations on Shabbat. Physical enjoyment, food, physical enjoyment of sex. This is part of a healthy human being. It's part of what we do. It's holy if you do it on Shabbat, more holy. It's holy always, but it's more holy on Shabbat.
You need to be married.
Of course. Details.
I have another question.
Shoot.
On the Shabbat when we have the Kiddush, we are going to eat mezunot, and then we have eggs. But we need to say the bracha for the eggs. My question is it right that when I have the choice to take like an apple,
Yes.
or I can take an olive? I need to take the olive?
Olive, yes. The olive first. Yeah, it's mentioned as one of the special fruits. It's mentioned as one of the special fruits that the land of Israel was blessed with. It's called the land of olive oil, Zeit
When I
Shemen.
go to the table Anavim and I see the olives.
That's already a question, because it also the land is praised as being a land of grapes.
Exactly.
So which one comes first, the grapes or the olives? I think that the olives come first. We're going to learn about it on Tu B'Shvat. Before Tu B'Shvat, there's rules about everything, even about which fruit to take first. So we'll learn about that, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay? All right. So we learned the song?
Yes.
You good? Well, let's go back to the laws of Hanukkah, okay? Okay. And there's a fellow who's listening to us in Austria, believe it or not, on the YouTube, and he shared with me a lovely YouTube video, and he suggested I share it with you. I think it's very sweet. It covers what we covered yesterday in the class. What we covered yesterday in the class was about how to light the Hanukkah candles. So where's our group here? Here it is. I'll share it with you now. And thank you to Noach Kraker from Austria. It's a Chabad little video about how exactly to light the candles, the right side, the left side, everything.
Noah.
Yeah.
Right?
Noach is his name, yeah.
Always in YouTube.
You see him on YouTube. I don't see who's actually listening in live, but yeah. Okay, anyways, it's nice to have participants. We hope Noah will come join us here in Jerusalem, not be long distance. Very soon. You're welcome. Everybody here in class is welcoming you, okay? So hopefully you'll come. All right, let's go. Chapter 13. We'll start now and we'll continue next week. The details of when and where to light the Hanukkah candles. Where to light. So our sages state, who can read for us the beginning of chapter 13? Eitan. Go for it.
Where to light? The sages state Hanukkah candles should be placed at the doorway outside the home. One who lives on an upper floor places them in the window facing the street. In times of danger, it is sufficient to place them on the table. In the past, most people lived in single-story homes. A doorway led either to the street or an enclosed courtyard with an exit to the street. Sages ordained that people should light at the exit to the street in order to publicize the miracle of Hanukkah. They added that the candles should be lit to the left of the entranceway. This way people passing through are surrounded by mitzvot, with the mezuzah on the right and the candles on the left. The sages further stated that ideally the menorah should be placed no lower than 3 tefahim from the ground and no higher than 10 tefahim from the ground, between 9 and 30 inches. The reason for this is that if it is placed higher than 10 tefahim, people will think it is meant to illuminate the entrance of the home. Since when people use the light candles to illuminate their homes, they will place them in their entranceway at a height above the tefahim. However, if it is placed lower than 3 tefahim, which is fairly close to the ground, people will think that the candles are placed there only temporarily and will soon be moved to an area that needs to be illuminated. Only when the menorah is placed at a height between 3 and 10 tefahim, it is clear to all that it was lit to fulfill the mitzvah. And in this way, the miracle will be realized. In any case, be the avad, if one lights Hanukkah candles lower than 3 tefahim or higher than 10 tefahim, he has fulfilled his obligation. However, if one lights candle at the entrance to his home and places them higher than 20 amot, about 30 feet, he has not fulfilled his obligation. In such a case, the candles are so high that people are not likely to see them, as people do not normally look at things that are so high. Some people live on upper floors and exit through the restrictions on the ground floor. They did not have their own doorway to the street, and if they lived at the entrance to the ground floor, they descended. No one will realize that the candles were there. Therefore, the sages introduced them to light. Instructed them to the light in the upper floor home in a window facing the street. In times of danger, when Jews feared harassment from non-Jews, sages say that one should light Hanukkah candles on a table inside one's home. The miracle will be publicized only to individual and the members of his household. Okay, so what is a tefach? He's using measurements here, which there's not, and then he translates it to inches. Nobody here is American at this moment.
1 inch is 256.
2.56 centimeters. So that's an inch in centimeters. What's a tefach? It's not an inch and it's not a centimeter. So it's the hand. The sages in those days, the standard measurements were by the human body. It was very convenient. You always have, we have a hand's breadth, and then we have an amah. Amah is an arm's length or a forearm's length, right? So I think they say there's in every arm's length there's 5 tefachim.
We need to go to the Boy Scouts. They learn this.
Yeah, really? Amazing.
There's always, for me, it's 20 centimeters.
20, okay.
I know that.
Good. What if you stretch? A piano player, maybe it's longer. So it's confusing. We like to have precision nowadays. But a tefach, how much is it? So how high does the menorah have to be?
Minimum 30 centimeters, maximum 1 meter.
Well, it says 3 tefach. Minimum, right?
Minimum. Max.
3 tefach. And maximum 10 tefach. So how much is 1 tefach? And then we'll know. Standard approach in, of course, there's a debate, like everything. But the standard approach is that one tefach is 8 centimeters.
One tefach is 8 centimeters.
Yeah,
Standard
that's the
approach.
standard approach. The standard approach. So 8 times 3, therefore, is 24 centimeters. Minimum height. Maximum height, 80 centimeters. The table that you're sitting on now is about 80 centimeters high.
Are you sure?
No. I'm saying approximately. The height I'm talking about. The height.
34. 74, I think.
That's the standard table height, 74. Perfect. Less than 80. Perfect. That's all. That's what. So basically, what you do is you take your table, a little table, and you put it next to your door. You can't put it on the floor. It's not 3 tefachim high. It's not 24 centimeters. You have to find like a stool or a chair. A chair is more than 24 centimeters. Or a table. If the table is below 80 centimeters, you put your... Now the question is, what has to be below 80 centimeters? The base? What if you have a tall Hanukkah? What's important about the Hanukkah is the lights. The lights. So if you have a tall Hanukkah, maybe you could put it on the floor. More if it's taller than 24 centimeters, that's fine. If you have a very short Hanukkah, which is just this much, so 78 centimeters, 70 is the highest you can go, 76, whatever it is. So that's the ideal. The ideal, not too low, not too high. It's very, very unique that it must be below 10 tefachs. There's a midrash that says that when Hashem revealed himself, what is the greatest revelation we ever had? The giving of the Torah. Where? Mount Sinai. The midrash says that was the greatest revelation. Hashem came down. It actually says, Vayered Hashem, that Hashem went down, meaning he came into the world. The midrash says only up until he came down, but not all the way to the ground. He came up to 10 tefachs. Hashem, the Shekhinah never goes below 10 tefachs. There's a difference between this world and the upper worlds. Hashem is purely beyond, spiritual, transcendent, beyond this world. 10 tefachs represents the border between this world and the next. So Hashem never comes down. Even on Sinai, he didn't come down. You know what's special about Hanukkah? Hanukkah comes down even lower. He reveals himself in a way which is even more unique, more down to earth than at Sinai itself. Because we light the Hanukkah candles. The Hanukkah candles represent the Shekhinah. The candles in the temple, that represents the constant presence of Hashem. You know that in the temple, our sages tell us there was a miracle. That the lights of the menorah lasted all day long. Well, not all of them. They say the westernmost candle in the Beit HaMikdash, there was only 7 branches of the menorah. And the westernmost one, that was always lit. Miraculously. Every day there was a miracle of Hanukkah. That the oil lasted longer than it should have. And this is a symbol of the divine presence always being there. To this day, every Bet Knesset, what do you find at the front of the Bet Knesset? What do you find? It's called Ner Tamid, an eternal flame. Do you see that? Nowadays, most places have electricity, right? They have a little flame. It looks like it's jumping, right? This is to commemorate, to remember, in the temple, there was a Ner Tamid. The menorah was always lit. This was a symbol of the divine presence. So if the candles of Hanukkah are commemorating the candles of the Beit HaMikdash, they represent the Shekhinah, the divine presence. The mitzvah is the Hanukkah candles must be lower than 10 tefachim. If it's higher than 10 tefachim, people think, oh, you're putting on a headlight, a projector, so that you can see where you're going. Specifically for the mitzvah, it's under 10 tfachim, maybe that teaches us something, that on Hanukkah we can reach such high levels of spirituality, presence of God, even in the darkest times of winter, of battles against Judaism. Hashem is with us with the Hanukkah candles even below 10 tfachim. This is one interpretation of why we light what it means that we light the Hanukkah candles underneath 10 tfachim. Yes, Ravi?
I have a question, practical.
Yeah.
When I look in my home, my window is higher than the 80 centimeter. Mm-hmm. So I cannot put it at the window. When I put it on my front door, because I only have one, I cannot open the door. When I put the tape there, I cannot open the door. So
if you put it on the outside the door,
it's not possible because the people need to pass. It's very small.
I see. So all those details is in the next paragraph of this book. Let's keep reading. It's exactly what he talks about. How do we implement that? On the one hand, we want everybody to see. On the other hand, we want it to be near the door. On the other hand, it's got to be lower than 10 tfachim. The windows are usually higher. This is windows. It's above 10 tfachim. You see, it's a little bit higher. So what do we do?
Like a window like this.
Exactly. That's right. So let's see. Private homes. Page 266, chapter 13, section 2. Okay, Stephen, take it over.
The sage's enactment seems to indicate that in the past there was no concern that the wind would blow out the Hanukkah candle. They were lit at the entrance to the home. Homes were built close together. Many cities and courtyards were enclosed by a wall, and there were no strong wind blowing between the homes. Therefore, evidently, it was possible to light candles outside the entranceway and the courtyard without worrying that the candles would blow out. Today, though, when one light candle outside, the wind usually blows them out. The only way to protect the candle is to light them in a glass box like an aquarium. However, the sages never required people to buy glass boxes in order to fulfill the mitzvah of lighting Hanukkah candle. Therefore, one who does not wish to buy a glass box may light the candle inside his home. If he light in the window facing the street, he beautifies the mitzvah of publicizing the miracle to the same degree as one who light in the entranceway, though he does not further beautify the mitzvah by lighting on the left side of the entranceway and thus surrounding himself with mitzvot, the mezuzah on the right and the candle on the left. Those who wish to beautify the mitzvah to the greatest extent should buy a glass box and a light outside the entranceway of the house on the left side. If several family members were lighting, as is the Ashkenazi custom, above 3 to 4, they should make sure that every menorah appears distinct so that it is clear how many candles were lit on each day of Hanukkah. Another possibility is for the other household member to light inside the home at the window. In the past, many homes had walled courtyards, and people would exit the street through a gate in the wall. In such a case, the courtyard was considered as extension of the home, and the correct place to light was in the entrance of the courtyard. In contrast, today, front yards were not walled, and therefore the correct place to light is at the entranceway to the home itself. In some homes, the entranceway is not clearly visible to many people on the street, while lighting in the window would be clearly visible from the street. Some maintain that in such a case, it is still preferable to light in the entranceway, as doing so follows the sage's original enactment, so that one who enters the home will be surrounded by mitzvot. Others maintain that lighting in the window is preferable in this case, since the primary reason for the enactment is to publicize the miracle, and more people will see the candle if they are lit in the window. In practice, it seems that the the mitzvah is rendered more beautiful when one light in the window. However, there is also an advantage to lighting in the entranceway.
Somebody asked me this the other day, right? This was the question. If I light at the doorway, nobody will see it. If I light in the window, everybody will see it. But it's not the doorway. Which is better? What does he say? The window or the door. It's up to you. The window, he gives it a nod. It's the advantage, the main point of the miracle, the mitzvah is to publicize the miracle. Publicize the miracles when more people see it. So maybe it's better to put it in the window even though it's not in the doorway, and even though it's higher than 10 tfachim. It's in the window. It publicizes the miracle. That overrides all the other considerations. But of course, you could put it in the doorway inside your house and don't open the door for half an hour. That's also, you could have it inside, outside. The doorway is also a beautiful idea. And they're all kosher. The bottom line is, I told you what I do in my house. I light at the doorway, and my wife lights inside. So we have both. And I want to tell you one more thing, and then I'll take your question. I want you to know, 50 years ago, I don't think anybody had a glass box for their Chanukias. When I was growing up, never heard of it. Nowadays, it's more and more and more popular. For hundreds of years, thousands of years, Jews lit the Hanukkah candles inside for reasons of anti-Semitism, for reasons of the wind, for many, many reasons. And so it became a valid way to fulfill the mitzvah. Jewish communities practice this way. It has tremendous weight when you ask me, is this what's the halacha? Halacha also is based on the custom. The custom is a very strong custom to light indoors. So nowadays, I cannot say you must go buy a glass box. If you don't have money, or if you don't want to, if you're worried that the children might knock it down if they play outside, and it's a danger. Some people are very concerned that the glass boxes will get knocked over. If you know that there's kids in your building, knock it over. So you do one of the other ones. They're both valid practices according to halacha. Okay?
When your window is not close to the street.
Maybe then it's better to put it by the doorway. It depends on what's going to publicize the miracle more.
So what you mean in the doorway? You open the door, you put your Hanukkah there, you...
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Usually I use a chair or a table because you want it to get the right height, between 24 and 80 centimeters.
But then there's a lot of cold coming in now.
Oh, so I close the door. Let me show you. Where's my Hanukkah? Here's my Hanukkah.
If I close the door, nobody can see it.
Be inside.
When you light it, first of all, you can see. First of all, one option is you put the Hanukkah here in the window. You can see, look, there's so many people. They live here, they live there. You can see it. Another option is, you can share it.
Outside.
Open the door. Original custom. Okay. Mezuzah on the right. I'm going to answer. The mezuzah is on the right. The Hanukkah is on the left. Put my chair here. I put my Hanukkah and I light the candles. When I'm finished, hopefully I have a glass box so it won't blow out in the wind. When I'm finished, I say the bracha, I sing Hanerot Halalu, I sing Maoz Tzur, and then I come in and I close the door and I go and eat latkes. Or sufganiyot. Every once in a while I think, the candles, they're still lit. It's very nice. You don't have to look at them for the whole time. They stay outside. They're sending the message. It's like a billboard. It's advertisement. To the world. Everybody else gets to see the candles. Me, I saw them when I lit them. But then I don't have to look at them the whole time. But what if you're worried, like someone was saying, I can't leave it outside. either because I don't have a glass box and so the candles will blow out, or the children outside are running around and playing soccer. They think they're messy, and they're kicking the ball, and the candles will fall over and they'll be on fire.
Yeah,
It's too dangerous. So one option is the window, like we said, or another option is go to the chair and leave it inside. You have the mezuzah on that side, and the candles over here. Candles are close to the doorpost, and you have it on the inside of your house. It could be here, it could be there. I see it both places. Here it's nice because it's in the doorway and it's surrounded by mitzvot. But over there, maybe the neighbors will see it through the window. They're all kosher. There's many different options. Near the door could be on the inside of the door or on the outside of the door. You still fulfill the idea that the candles are next to the door. Is that clear?
Question.
Yes, that's right.
Outside, how to control the weather? Will raining, so it will make the cover.
Yes. So we need a box, a glass box. You have to have a glass box.
Also, if blocking in the how, for example, leave the yeshiva and leave the hotel, should we make the river also make the?
Next week we're going to continue. We're going to talk about apartment buildings. We're going to talk about yeshiva. Where do you light the candles? There's many more details. B'ezrat Hashem. Next week we'll continue. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.